Hello, you've caught me looking forward to Christmas.
I love Christmas, love it. I've already got my tree up at home and I won't tolerate any misery McScrooges in the comments telling me it's too early. I love the lights, I love the songs, I love giving up any pretense of trying to be healthy and watching my stomach expand in real time as it struggles to accommodate the inexorable stream of mince pies and mulled wine I plough into it.
I love trying to explain my job to confused relatives I only see once a year.
So, do you just play video games all day?
Well, there's a bit more to it than that, you know.
So you make videos about playing video games all day?
Yes, in a way, but that doesn't really cover everything that
Why do you play video games, Robert?
Why do I play video games? Thanks for asking, convenient Christmas uncle. Here are 7 reasons we play video games, and probably always will.
Number 1, the escapism. Now, this is kind of obvious, but I do genuinely believe video games offer a level of escapism beyond that of other mediums. Yes, just like in books or movies, games transport us to fantastical worlds, immerse us in the limitless magic of the human imagination, and emotionally challenge us with scenarios we could never experience in the real world. But I think games go that one step further. They allow us to actively inhabit characters, to become what we'd otherwise merely observe.
For example, I've watched Batman movies. I love Batman movies. It's great fun cheering as Batman punches all the bad guys.
Whereas now, with Arkham Knight for instance, I'm doing the punching, not the cheering. This is amazing when you really stop and think about it, because obviously I'm not a billionaire tech genius with a six-pack and comprehensive mastery of numerous martial arts.
It's true, I'm not.
But when I play Batman Arkham Knight and press square and occasionally triangle enough times, I feel like I am. And that is the video game difference. They raise you up, your real-world frailties melting away, replaced with a joyous burst of super heroism. You're not just escaping to the wonderful world of Gotham City, you're chain gliding over it before shooting down to earth like a rubber-clad exocet missile and thumping justice into villains' faces.
So, in a way, with video games, you're not just escaping your surroundings. You're escaping yourself.
And that is often a vital release. Being able to free yourself from the pressures and anxieties of real life, if only for a fleeting moment, is, I think, really important. In movies and books, you get to see what you otherwise couldn't. In video games, you get to be what you otherwise couldn't. Entry 2. They're really educational, thank you very much. I like to think I have pretty decent general knowledge, and I can attribute a considerable chunk of that to video games. History, geography, mythology. I've learned absolutely loads in video games I never did in school, plus there are other things you just never think of. For instance,
I am really good at flags. Seriously, show me the flag of any country and I guarantee I could tell you where it's from. How am I so good at flags? Pez.
Choosing what team to play, setting up my own World Cups. I've scrolled through the flags of endless nations and I know them all. I mean, you can scoff about the relevance and importance of this kind of knowledge, but the fact is, if you play lots of video games, you'll be absorbing knowledge without even knowing it. Games are an amazing learning tool. You'll be there, climbing, shooting and puzzling your way through Uncharted or Assassin's Creed, swept up in the moment-to-moment thrills and Hollywood presentation, and the next moment you'll be playing Trivial Pursuit with your family on Boxing Day. You've got a chance at a yellow wedge, but you know history isn't your strong subject. And then...
What was the birth name of Pope Alexander VI, who reigned from 1492 until his death in 1503? You'll never get this. All he does is play video games. All he does is play video games. Pope Alexander VI, from 1492 until 1503. You'll never get this. All he does is play video games. The birth name of Pope Alexander VI, He'll never get this. Never get this. Never get this. That's all he does is play video games. All he does is play video games. All he does is play video games. All he does is play video games.
Rodrigo Borgia.
He's right.
Thanks, Assassin's Creed 2. The third reason we play video games is because they're like a warm comfort blanket after a long, hard day. Is there anything better than getting home from work or school when you've just had one of those days and settling down on the sofa with a cuppa and your favourite game?
My comfort game is Skyrim. Always Skyrim.
For me, there is no bad mood that can't be lifted by breathing the fresh, clean air of this country. You can smell the pines, feel the cold touch of water on your feet, hear the calm, sleeping heartbeat of the Whiterun shop owners asleep in their beds as you slowly creep up on them, knife drawn.
It's been a long day.
I love video games for this. There's no judgment. You can pay as much or as little attention as you want. Bleed the day's stresses on a tough-as-nails boss fight, or soak your restless mind in quiet, contemplative, open-world traversal. Thanks, video games. I needed that. Number 4. The amazing storytelling power of video games. They're an art form like no other, versatile in their approach, but consistent in their impact. Sometimes they frame their stories through a cinematic lens, presenting a world of stylized beauty as you're directed through an experience that leaves you breathless. Other times the story might be told environmentally, and this is where video games really come into their own, offering players the chance to thread together a narrative woven into the background, rewarding exploration, enticing players with the thrill of peering into those out-of-focus areas and discovering there elements that illuminate the game as a whole.
No other medium does this. You know, you might watch a film and extract your own individual meaning,
but you're still watching the same film as everyone else. In games, every playthrough is unique. In a sense, you are the director, the main star, the writer, the editor, free to wander on this elaborate digital stage that's been crafted for you. And then you've got stories where you literally get to choose how to proceed, making decisions and altering the outcome. The end result is a medium that often feels as though it's speaking directly to you, showing you things it's shown no one else. At the end of a movie or a book, you've been told a story. At the end of a video game, you'll often find you've made your own. Number 5. The sense of accomplishment you get from video games is unrivaled. I mean, granted, I clap myself on the back every time I make it through a 2-hour movie.
Oh, just watched 101 Dalmatians.
No way. That's amazing.
But nothing compares to that feeling you get after conquering a really hard boss, or reaching the end credits, or the ultimate, popping a platinum trophy. Dave recently unlocked his first ever platinum live on stage at EGX, and you can see how much it meant to him.
Sometimes video games will even physically build themselves around this sense of accomplishment.
And what I mean by that is games like Dark Souls designing their labyrinthine castle towns in such a way that at certain points you can look back on all the areas you've been and allow yourself a moment of pride. JRPGs often do this as well. They'll have you trekking across the world map for 30 hours or so before eventually bestowing upon you the means to fly over all of it in a joyful blur. The Regalia Type F in Final Fantasy XV, Tengri the Dragon in Ni no Kuni, like a physical embodiment of your success, swooping over what you've conquered. What a feeling. Number 6 is socializing. Games are so incredibly social now in a way that goes beyond any other art form. Sure, going to the cinema with friends is the absolute best fun, but it's an event, isn't it? It takes planning and effort and time. That is the crucial thing. As you get older and life's pressures tire you out, You soon realise you have less time to be doing all that fun going out stuff, but with games, you can socialise from your sofa.
In some ways, video games have kind of replaced those evening catch-up phone calls. At least they have for me.
Now if I want to catch up with a friend I haven't spoken to for a while, I'll do it over a few friendly races of Crash Team Racing Nitro Fueled.
Friendly.
It's like a phone call, only with drift boosting and homing rockets and me winning, otherwise it's going off. Then you've got grand multiplayer events like the Nightfall in Destiny or raids in your favourite MMO. But really, you don't even have to be technically doing anything. Games can be a virtual social space. You can just hang out and chat. You can form lifelong friendships through video games, which can then lead to even more socialising when you do finally get round to meeting up in the real world.
So yeah, if anyone ever tells you video games are antisocial, hit them with that.
And finally, entry 7 on our list of why we play video games is a bit of a woolly one, but indulge me, will you? They keep our inner child alive. It can be easy, especially in today's world, to get bogged down, to let the layers of cynicism grow until you become, for want of a better phrase,
A crusty old grouch. I am a crusty old grouch.
You know, sometimes if I'm not paying enough attention to life, I'll leave the door open and the cold gets in. Things can get dark. There have been times where I've sat in my lounge in the evening staring at a blank TV screen, not wanting to play any games at all, and then worrying that I don't want to play any games at all. Have I finally fulfilled my dad's ancient prophecy and grown out of it?
But then video games will do something, and they always do, that just lifts you out of the murk.
Something like announcing Final Fantasy VII Remake. I'm sure you've all got your own personal game or series that does this for you. And for me, when I see this game, my inner cobwebs are blown away and I feel like I'm 12 again, just pure, unadulterated excitement. This game is my sunrise burning through the clouds of misery. I can't talk about this game, I can only make noise. It makes my heart jump, unlocks memories I didn't even realise I'd forgotten. Basically, it makes me feel like a kid again.
And sometimes you just need that, right? You know, you need to feel that jittery Christmas Eve style excitement about something.
For me, only games are capable of this. Or maybe if one day they remake all the Lord of the Rings movies, that might do it too. But for now, it's all about the games. And there are 7 reasons why we play them, and probably always will. Let us know in the comments what your reasons are, give us a like if you enjoyed the video, and join us again next week for another Friday feature. Thanks for watching.
For the players.